Jimmy Kimmel is dragging Disney into another hoax against the Orange Man. This time, it's Piggygate 2025. This morning, we'll tell you why this is not in the same vein as anything Johnny Carson, David Letterman, or Jay Leno would have ever done, and why Disney might be done with Jimmy Kimmel.
Everyone loves something at McDonald's. There's always something to have. I like the fish. I like it.
All right, folks, it is the hoaxster. Who is it? It's Jimmy Kimmel. We've got the video. We're going to play it in just a minute. Don't worry. We'll get there. But let's go up to what we've got going on. Jimmy Kimmel, the Disney guy, and people say, why, oh, why do you cover late night? Why do you cover politics? Folks, I never come on here and talk about what should be the tax rates for the various socioeconomic statuses. I never come on here and tell you what should be, the immigration policy of the United States. I don't do that. I only cover this stuff when I must because Disney has a late night so-called comedian who is obsessed with TDS, and he cannot be removed because when Disney tried to kick him out of his studio, Hollywood trade agencies, talent agencies came in and said, no way, we'll quit. We're done if you don't put him back in there. Jimmy Kimmel scolds the Orange Man for saying quiet Piggy to a reporter. Every time he gets asked about the guy on the island, he loses his mind. This is by Zach Sharf, and this is hoax number 5,237. Jimmy Kimmel roasted the Orange Man in a new monologue after the president's apparent meltdowns of reporters asking questions he does not like. Listen, I'm not here to defend Trump. I'm really not. I'm not here to defend President Trump. You can like him, you can dislike him, but I am sick of hoaxes, and I am really sick of entertainment companies and so-called entertainers actually spending the time to create a new hoax. I am sick of it, okay? Says, quote, Trump is not a happy little meal right now. Every time he gets asked about the guy on the island, he loses his mind. The late night host then cut to a viral clip of Trump pointing at a female reporter while on Air Force One and telling her, quiet Piggy. That's the story. You all heard? Have you heard this yet? That Trump called somebody Piggy? Have you heard this?
Yeah, it's a pretty interesting clip.
Peggy Collins is the bureau chief and executive editor of U.S. Economy and Government for Bloomberg. Peggy Collins. Now, folks, let me just ask you this. Does it change your mind at all? Because my job here is not to convince you to like President Trump or not dislike. Completely out of my lane. That's not even in my job description. My job description is to handle Disney and Jimmy Kimmel and what they do, and the fact that instead of telling funny jokes, they appear to be running another hoax-based propaganda piece. Does it change your mind at all to know that there's a journalist standing there whose name is Peggy when he's supposedly said, quiet Piggy? Does it change your mind at all to know that there's somebody standing there whose name is Peggy? And you can say, well, he wasn't talking to her. And you're just like, well, how do you know? How do we? There's somebody standing there whose name is Peggy, not Piggy. And yet they run this. Let's play the clip, folks. Let's get to it, okay? We'll go back to Variety. Here is the Jimmy Kimmelster. Scroll down. Man, look at that dude. If that guy was real, it would be impressive. Oh.
No, that is real. That's me.
Oh, yeah, I see it. Resemblance. Yeah. Huh. Mm-hmm. All right, folks, here is Jimmy Kimmel with the monologue. Hoax number 5,327, yet again. Here we go.
Testifying in court. The president today, he kept busy. He kept his eye on the ball, and he even addressed this situation at a live corporate event.
Everyone loves something at McDonald's. There's always something to have. I like the fish. I like it.
That's the funniest thing on Jimmy Kimmel I've seen so far. It's pretty good. I mean, it's weird at the beginning, but you know what? I like the fish.
It's like old SNL. Like SNL would have said something like this.
It's like President Trump has become a Trump impersonator now.
Yeah.
Comes on the bun, it's round. Looks like, there we go.
Mussolini likes the fish at McDonald's.
And then we come back to this, and it's just mean. I don't care if you like President Trump. I don't care if you dislike him. I don't care if you like his politics. I mean, I care about it to some degree, but not in the vein of what we do here every single day. right? Right? This is just Shamussolini, right? Shamu, the whale from SeaWorld. Mussolini, you get it? Shamussolini. Can you imagine Johnny Carson doing this? Can you imagine Jay Leno? This is not late night comedy. This is ideological capture. What they've done here is they have taken over a genre and transformed it into something else. It's just mean. And what they're trying to do is they're trying to make him be worse than they are with this Piggy thing. Play it again.
Oh, wait, that was from Ronald McFondle's appearance at the McDonald's summit last night. Trump is not a happy little meal right now. Every time he gets asked about Jeffrey Epstein, he loses his mind.
Yeah, Jennifer, go ahead. Go ahead.
In the files, Venezuelan,
Quiet, Piggy.
He called her Piggy. He said, "Quiet, Piggy," to a reporter, and it barely made the news.
All right. Well, of course, it made the news. Now, here's the deal. Does it sound like Piggy? Maybe. Does it matter that there's a lady standing right there whose name is Peggy? Yeah, it probably does. Is Trump irritated at the end of the night? Maybe. He possibly didn't get his fish sandwich. But the bottom line here is, guys and girls, listen, it doesn't make any sense for him to just out of the blue be like calling people piggies. Of all the pejoratives that Trump could come up with, you think that Piggy? I mean, what's up next? Quiet doo-doo head. Quiet you. Quiet poopy face. I mean, just use Occam's razor, darn it. But they're going to do this. And here's what they believe. They believe that their audience is so dumb that they will buy up anything. They believe that there is no skepticism, there is no cynicism. They will just buy up anything and everything. And instead of trying to be funny, instead of trying to tell jokes, it's hoax time at Disney. And people say, Pro, why don't you cover Jimmy Kimmel? Because he's paid by Disney. Because he is a Disney man. I cover Disney. I cover entertainment, but in large part, I cover Disney. And the other channels out there that cover Disney won't do this. Somebody covering Disney needs to cover Disney when they do this sort of thing. So that's why we're there. You think I enjoy covering The View over and over again? You think I want to cover what Whoopi had to say or Sonny Hostin's latest legal defense? Folks, we got to do it if we're going to cover Disney because we cover all parts Disney. Wiz, take it away. What say you? Did he say Piggy, and was it worthwhile to do that on late night?
It doesn't matter what he said. The news was going to run with it no matter what. He could have said Peggy, could have said Piggy. They were going to take it because this was a goldmine story. And even then, no one cares.
Now, you
no
think
one
you
really
think
cares.
he said Piggy, though, right? You think you do think he said Piggy?
I think he misspoke. I think he meant to say Peggy, and Piggy slipped out.
Sometimes that happens. Ask Kermit.
Which exactly, it's very possible. I think he made a mistake. I don't think he was calling her Piggy. I don't know. It doesn't seem
It's so bizarre. If you wait, did he call the woman whose name Peggy and it slipped out a different way, or did he somehow just suddenly start calling people piggies? You know, like it's such a weird thing to make it work.
We've come a long way from the Trump insult era where he was ripping on Rosie O'Donnell. Like, we've come a very long way from that. That's not to say he doesn't still insult or make fun of people, but Peggy that's a pretty rough term that could and can be taken pretty far. But the news hasn't really, like, no one cares. The news can run with it, but no one cares. There are much bigger things going on.
I love the idea, of the president of the United States getting asked questions by reporters. And somebody's like, Mr. President, what do you think about the latest thing that Congress just passed that you've agreed to sign? And he says, shut up, Piggy. Okay. Out of the blue sky, we'll do that. All right. Nolan, your thoughts on this very silly story. And it really, the bigger point to be made here is that Jimmy Kimmel it's not about being funny. It's about being hateful towards a political figure and to try to sway the midterms.
Spot on, Pro. That's actually the segue I was about to make here, is that, to me, I heard from my very poor hearing, mind you, I have allergies that mess with my hearing, it sounded like Piggy, but it's Trump. Who really cares at this point? He's insulted a lot of people. What is more critical and worrisome is how the the late night TV that we're seeing now looks like the same garbage you'll see on a lot of social media sites, whether it's X, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, whatever have you. It's a bunch of slop that's just, complaining about a politician, about stories that a good chunk of the time are hoaxes or misinterpretations anyways, taking away from the things that society needs to focus on in order to make the world a better place. And, late night TV is supposed to be some sort of a more high IQ type content from just any Joe Schmo out there, complaining about some stranger he's never met. But it's not that way. They've brought their humor down to just be complaining and hate farming, and it's tragic. That's why I think it's really awesome that nowadays, not to toot our own horn or anything, you have sites like that, Park Place, that focus on the truth. Instead of just focusing on, hey, it sounds like this guy might have said Piggy, well, let's get the clicks in. It's trivial and it's childish.
It's an attempt to feed the algorithm. They're trying to go trending every single time. They're trying to affect the midterm. They have no desire to be actually funny. The whole deal is, how can we, affect the world politico? How can we get people to go vote the way we want them to vote? That's what they're up to. That's what they want to do with Disney late night TV. Okay. And the problem here is that if you go anywhere near talking about what's really going on in the world, they have no interest in that, right? If you want to talk about the young generation and they can't afford things because of the pandemic and because of the way that things were structured financially, and we need to fix that immediately, no interest, because that's a complicated issue that requires complicated answers, and both sides would have to come to the table and describe what it is they plan to do. If you ask them, what is your plan for handling wealth disparity? No real answer there, right? No, or if they do, it's a Mamdani style issue of, hey, let's try what worked in Venezuela and see what happens here. Yay, no, thank you. What they want to do instead is they want to distract you from the real problems that face real people every single day. They want to distract you with, shut up, Piggy. And it's so asinine. It's like, we have real problems. There are people suffering. We've got the AI thing we've got to figure out. We've got actual adversaries in the world. And instead, we got another hoax about Peggy versus Piggy. Come on! And Disney's the one putting this out there every single day. Jimmy Kimmel Live? No, I think it's Jimmy Kimmel Slime. I'm not here to tell you to defend President Trump or, always jump to his side. I'm just here to tell you, folks, this is not late night. And they can't get rid of him because they already canceled him once. And somehow, he returned.
Listen up, my brothers and sisters. You've been listening to Phils and those with an agenda to destroy your brain cells for far too long. It's time to change your way of doing things. Hold up. TPP is the place to be. Covering the news, so honestly, it's a team that's cool and tried and true, ahead of the culture curve they're trying to keep you. Jonas and Pro, they run the show, and they dragged in the bearded culture casino. You got Valiant and Lord and Fourth of Line. Wonderful people, yeah, they're alright. They got weird bringing in people like Floral, but made no mistake with Lorena Creole. Amelia and John, stuttering guitarist. Martin and Tawny and someone called CMS. Fat Steven makes a bunch of other graphics. Did I mention a partnership with Bending in the comics? Fat Sky is a guy and Doc Matt does the web stuff. There's probably some people I missed. I hope they're not telling you the news. That should be fun. With accurate info that's not been spun. You can figure it out as you will see. The TPP is the place to be.
Yeah, Wilton. That was actually pretty good, or white. But I think you might have forgotten Vash.
Well, he lost all his friends. But it was implied.